Hi folks, we are Sophie and Philippe, two professional chefs and regenerative farmers. Currently, we're setting up our second regenerative farm in central Portugal, where we grow food for our local community and share our knowledge both on the land and in the kitchen. On this channel, we take you along on the farm's development and we show you how we grow, cook and preserve nutrient-dense, regeneratively grown, delicious food. In a time where the food we're eating is literally killing us, the most powerful and impactful action one could take is to consume nutrient-dense, regeneratively grown, clean food. Let's grow it, let's cook it, let's do it. Alright folks, in this episode we are going to bake some celebratory cakes together because our oldest daughter had her first theater play and we celebrated that with some delicious desserts. Now this also would be great for Christmas of course, so maybe you'll get inspired, I hope so. By the end of this episode I'm going to share with you the dates of our retreat that is coming up and a place where you can sign up to get onto the waiting list. So I'm really excited about that as well. Let's get going and make ourselves some pies, shall we? In today's video we are making two delicious celebratory dessert pies. one is a tangy lemon tart with fluffy meringue clouds, calendula petals and mint. The second is an indulgent carob cake with a fluffy peanut butter frosting and crisp Pâte Sucrée cookies. Christmas holidays have started and that means we have our kids at home. The girls and I went to harvest some oranges and lemons for the occasion by Philippe's grand's house. Today we are starting off with a delicate, fresh and delicious lemon pie with calendula and mint decorations. The first step is making the pâte sucrée, which is a sweet short crust pastry. The needed ingredients are 125 grams of butter, 1 medium egg, 75 grams of fine unrefined sugar, 200 grams of plain white flour, a pinch of salt and some vanilla sugar. Start off by creaming the soft butter and the fine unrefined sugar together in a bowl with a wooden spatula. This buttery mixture should be well beaten until it's white, fluffy and creamy. Then add in 1 egg and beat it into the creamy mixture. Add a tablespoon of flour to help incorporate the egg if necessary. Then add in the rest of the flour and in as little mixing movements as possible, bring the dough together with your spoon. Finally, with your hand, knead it until it's just combined and then turn it over on the workbench and give it a few gentle squeezes to shape it into a disc. Don't overwork it. Wrap it in clingfilm and let it rest in the fridge for 30 minutes. During this time we are going to make the filling for the tart. This is done by adding 3 whole eggs and 4 large heaped teaspoons of sugar together. Then I squeeze a little under 180 milliliters of lemon juice out of the picked lemons, and into that I added 100 milliliters of thick cream. Now blend them both separately and then mix them together. This mixture can be put aside at room temperature. Take the dough out of the fridge and dust your table with a generous amount of flour. Gently roll out the disc into a large circle with a thickness of about half a centimeter or 1/4 of an inch. Try moving your hands in a circular motion when rolling out the dough. This will distribute the weight more evenly and make for an even thickness all across your dough slab. Then butter a cake tin generously. I used one that has a removable bottom, but one without that will also do. I rolled the slab of dough onto my rolling pin and then gently laid it into the cake tin. Press it down and make sure not to capture any air bubbles in there. Then slice off any excess dough. That little bit is perfect for cookie making. Once you are done with that, you will need to blind bake the pie. To place your baking beads or beans inside, first lay out a cartouche of baking paper. I scrunch mine so it fits well in all edges of the pie. You also have to poke the bottom of the pie with a fork gently. Once all of that is done, you can place the lined cake tin with the baking beans inside into a 180 degrees Celsius or 340 degrees Fahrenheit oven for 15 minutes. With the leftover dough, make any kind of cookies which resemble either a flower or a leaf. These will be used for the next recipe. If you would make only the second pie, then 1/3 of the recipe for the dough would be enough. The cookies will only take about 5 minutes to bake at 180 degrees Celsius, so you can add those into the oven for the last 5 minutes of your blind baking process. After 15 minutes, remove the beans from your blind bake and return the crust for another 5 minutes or until the crust is golden brown and looks baked through. Then, once the crust is baked, take it out and turn down your oven to 140 degrees Celsius. Stir your mixture once more and then pour it in. Tap it to remove any air bubbles and transfer it to the cooled down oven. Bake it until there is no jiggle when you gently move the tart. Usually this takes about 10 to 15 minutes. Take it out and let it cool down completely. For the sweet clouds, you could make an Italian meringue. This will mean that the meringue is more stable, but if you plan on eating it straight away, I always make this very simple meringue with just the whites and some sugar. It's a little more foamy, but my kids love it and it saves me some faffing about. So just mix 2 egg whites with a couple of heaped spoons of sugar and whisk until you have a hard peak. Then place a large round nozzle in a piping bag and fill it up with the meringue mixture. Decorate your tart creatively with the meringue and then decorate it with some beautiful decorative flowers or herbs to your liking. I used calendula petals and mint from the herb garden. Voila! 1 tart done. For this indulgent carob cake, we will be using flour made out of carob. Carob trees are part of the bean family and they actually make these bean-like pods that then turn brown and are incredibly sweet and delicious, and you can use this in desserts. In preparation for the carob cake, I line the bottom of the cake tin with some baking paper and I butter the sides. For the batter, we will be using 130 grams of plain white flour, 175 grams of unrefined sugar and a little bit of vanilla sugar, 25 grams of carob flour, 1/3 of a teaspoon of baking soda, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder and a pinch of salt. I mix these dry ingredients together with a whisk until they are well combined. Once well combined, in another bowl, I combine almost all the wet ingredients together. These are half a cup of milk, 1/3 a cup of olive oil and 1 egg. Once they are also well mixed, I mix them into the dry ingredients until they are just combined. Then at the very end, right before I'm ready to move the batter into the tin and into the oven, I add half a cup of hot water. Mix that in well. Pour the batter into the tin and place the whole in the oven. I then bake the cake at 180 degrees Celsius or 360 degrees Fahrenheit until a toothpick comes out clean. This took about 20 minutes and this is a very low cake, so don't overcook it or it will become very dry. Once the cake is done, Take it out of the tin and let it cool on a rack. In the meantime, start making the peanut butter frosting. For this, you'll need 1 cup of butter, about 125 grams at room temperature, 1 cup of smooth peanut butter. Mix those together and beat them very well until they are completely combined and smooth. Then add in 3 cups of fine sugar or powder sugar. The latter will make an even smoother frosting. I used unrefined sugar, but I beat it very well and I added about 3 little shots of milk, one at a time, making sure that the milk is well incorporated before adding more milk. Be careful here, because adding too much milk might split the frosting. Once you have a fluffy, light frosting and your cake is cool, you can start decorating your cake. First, frost the outside of your cake generously. Then place it into the fridge to stiffen up a little. Once the frosting is a little stiffer, take the cake back out and decorate it with the cookies you made earlier. And of course, some artistic piping art. Go wild, release your inner artist. If you mess up, this cake is so delicious that nobody will care after eating it. I used a star nozzle to make little rosettes and also added some chocolate sprinkles and 2 carob fruits on top. This cake is absolutely delicious and indulgent. Carob vaguely tastes like fudge and the fluffy frosting rounds it all off very well. We had a little tea moment and we tasted both the cakes before taking them to the theater and enjoying them with the rest of our friends. So I'm really pleased and excited to announce that our first ever retreat will be taking place this year, 2025. I really want you to be here, because what are we going to do? We are going to cook some epic farm-to-table food together. We're going to indulge and really enjoy all the bounty that this farm provides. We're going to get into the kitchen, make some delicious food together. We're going to talk about how to grow this food. We're going to go off the farm and visit Monsanto, and the place that you will be staying is absolutely to die for. It's an eco hotel very close by to the farm and it has wonderful facilities. Check it all out in the link below. You can sign up for our early bird registrations, which means that you'll be the first to get notified when we open the sales for this retreat, and you will actually receive an early bird discount exclusively only for people that sign up via this list. So don't hesitate and just go for it. I'm looking forward to seeing you here. Come and have a retreat with me. First, we are going to be offline for a couple of weeks, 2 or 3, I haven't decided yet. Family comes first. I love mine. It's the end of year, it's the holiday season, and we have been way too busy this year and we don't get to spend enough time with the people we love. Hit that notification button if you want, so you can be notified when new content will come online. I wish you all a very happy holiday and already a very prosperous new year, but we'll be back with those wishes in January. See you on the next one, The Farming Chefs. Peace out.